Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the commencement ceremonies for the class of 2019. At this time, we ask that you put your cell phones on silent. Please rise as we welcome the South Windsor Fire Department Honor Guard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Sullivan. I'm the principal here at South Windsor High School. And at this time, I would ask that everyone please remain standing as the choral spectrum performs their rendition of the Star Spangled Banner and the South Windsor Fire Department continues to present the colors.
Go, Jackie.
Again, good evening and welcome to Symphony Hall here in Springfield, Massachusetts. I'd like to thank the Honor Guard, our student musicians, our directors, Mr. Martineau and Mr. Verastro. I would also like to thank Ed Duclos and the seniors of the Yearbook Committee for creating the slideshow that played before the ceremony this evening. It is my privilege to welcome you to the 2019 commencement ceremony. As we get started, I would like to recognize some of the people joining us on this most special occasion. In the audience who just sat down, we have our most special guest, our Grand Marshal, Dr. Michael Bambara. Also joining us this evening, Mayor Andrew Paterna, State Representative Thomas Delnicki, Councilor Audrey Delnicki, Councilor Cesar Lopez, Councilor Mary Justine Hockenberry. On stage, we have Board of Education Chairman Craig Zimmerman, Vice Chairwoman Jessica Waterhouse, and Board of Education members Arthur Aducci, Reverend Michael Gonzalez, Rich Starr, Erica Evans, Michael Perret, and Beth Essman. Our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kate Carter. Assistant Superintendents, Colin McNamara and Cheryl Mortensen. The Director of Finance and Operations, Chris Chamerka. Associate Principals, Tara Harlow, Melissa Morgan Hostetler, and Andrew Kuckel. The Director of Physical Education, Health, and Athletics, David Satulik. Senior Class Advisors, Sue Mazzona and Carolyn Andrews. We also have many members of our faculty with us this evening. Could the faculty please stand to be recognized for their contributions to the success of our students? I would also ask that all South Windsor High School alumni present with us this evening stand, because you are always Bobcats. I am proud to announce that we have 311 graduates in the class of 2019. We are excited to celebrate with you this evening, and at this time, I invite Dr. Carter to the podium for her welcoming remarks.
Good evening. It is an honor and a privilege to welcome our graduates, parents, family members, friends, community members, Chairman Zimmerman and Board of Education members, Mayor Paterna and town councilors, State Representative Tom Delnicki, administrators, faculty, and staff to the 2019 South Windsor High School commencement ceremony. For the past 9 years, I have incorporated into all of my graduation speeches the following guidance to our graduates. Be gracious, be grateful, and above all, be kind. It is my steadfast commitment to this message and the timeless nature of this guidance that has led to its perennial presence in my remarks. This year, when I sat down to write my graduation remarks, I reflected on what I've learned about kindness over the years. And I have come to realize that the faster one's pace, the more opportunities for kindness one can miss. Kindness requires thoughtfulness and an awareness of the people around you. It requires that you notice others and take time for small gestures. It requires us to truly listen, because listening is more than just waiting for your turn to speak. Kindness requires focus and intentionality. Our society operates at a dizzying pace, and I worry if we don't slow down, we will miss opportunities to be kind. Yet, I was heartened when I heard about all of the amazing acts of kindness already performed by the class of 2019 at the awards ceremony last Monday. Graduates, thank you for those moments you did slow down and prioritized civility, empathy, and the greater good. The class of 2019 gives me hope for the future at a time when it is sorely needed. And the message of slowing down is particularly timely for our graduates. You are off to great adventures, either through college, the workforce, or serving our country. It may be difficult to slow down when so many facets of your life are speeding up. But as you go out into the world, I urge you to slow down, look up from your screens, and take time to truly connect with the people and the world around you. And consider neighbors as an important category of people with whom to connect. I feel so fortunate to live and work in this community, but especially fortunate to live on a street with so many wonderful neighbors. In fact, there are 12 of my fellow Main Streeters graduating this year. Graduates, I hope someday when you are grown and raising a family of your own, your children are able to experience what it's like to grow up surrounded by neighbors who care about one another. Mr. Sullivan, like your students, you too are off to a new adventure. Thank you for all that you have done for South Windsor High School. You'll be entering the dizzying pace of the superintendency, and my advice to you is the same advice I have given our students tonight. Be gracious, be grateful, and above all, be kind. If you do those three things, the rest will fall into place. And if you bring the same work ethic and commitment to Putnam Public Schools as you have to South Windsor High School, you will surely shine in your new role. I close my remarks this evening by asking the class of 2019 to show your gratitude for the parents, grandparents, siblings, teachers, coaches, counselors, administrators, neighbors, and friends who have shown you kindness and offered unconditional love throughout your years in school. Graduates, please stand and join me in a round of applause for these special people.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. And I've never had the opportunity to do this before, so I will heed Dr. Carter's advice. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. And at this time, I would like to invite Chairman Zimmerman to the podium.
On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight, all the graduating seniors of the class of 2019, their family and friends, the administration led by Dr. Carter, and all our teachers and school personnel. At this time, would all teachers, school administrators, and school staff members, whether you work in South Windsor or for another school district, please stand. How about a long round of applause for all these people who have dedicated their lives to this very important profession, many of whom have meant so much to each of tonight's graduates. Tonight we will hear from Mr. Sullivan and some selected South Windsor High School students about the class of 2019. Speaking of Mr. Sullivan, as you heard, who was recently hired as the superintendent in Putnam, and all of the teachers and school personnel retiring after tonight, please accept our thanks for all you've done for our students and school system. You know, I've gotten to know many of you here graduating tonight through your participation in sports since you were in middle school. I can't begin to tell you how impressed I've been with your growth since those early days. This is truly an outstanding group of talented young men and women. Each of the graduating seniors here tonight should be filled with great pride. This is truly one of those nights, one of those accomplishments that you will remember for the rest of your lives. I can remember sitting like you are tonight about 40 years ago when I also graduated from South Windsor High School. In my speech at both the 2016 and 2018 graduation ceremonies, I tried to give some advice to each of those graduates based upon my experience, which I'd like to generally repeat tonight. Please note that I've updated my list of recommendations based upon my recent health scare a few months ago. So number one, time goes very quickly, so please make sure that you live each and every day to its fullest. Think about the importance of the last thing you say on a particular day to someone you care deeply about, since it may be the last time you have an opportunity to talk to them. Number two, while having a plan or an idea of what you want to accomplish in life is a good thing, be open to new ideas. Be willing to step outside your comfort lane on occasion. When I first decided to pursue being on the Board of Education, I had to overcome doubts about the election process, about going door to door, answering questions, and asking people for their support, and doing things like giving speeches in front of large crowds, not something in my normal comfort zone. Number three, find a way to give back to your community. I've found that the person that helps others often also benefits themselves. Number four, learn an understanding about the time value of money invested. You'll appreciate this more when you're thinking of retiring, like I did in my 50s. Number five, try to surround yourself with family and close friends. The special accomplishments you will have in life are even better if shared with those you love and are close to. Number six, please appreciate everybody in the medical field, including first responders, doctors, and the people that test and develop new medicines or ways to treat illnesses. You may not fully appreciate what they do until what they do personally helps you or somebody you're close to. Number seven, finally, to follow up on Dr. Carter's comments on the importance of kindness, I'm living proof that one person, in my case multiple people, can really make a special difference, can even save your life. Special thanks to two of those people, Board of Ed members Jessica Waterhouse and Beth Essman, who are here tonight. I'd like to end with one of my favorite quotes, this from Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you did not do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. In closing, on behalf of the entire Board of Education, congratulations to all tonight's graduating seniors. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Zimmerman. Again, good evening and congratulations to our graduates and their families. I am happy to be a part of this celebration and to have the opportunity to both look back and look forward with you, the class of 2019. A truly remarkable group for a number of reasons, but let's start with a fun fact. This graduating class is comprised of 13 sets of twins and 2 sets of triplets. A lot has happened over the last 18 years or so, and you've had a great deal of help. Your first teachers were your parents, grandparents, siblings, neighbors, and friends. They helped you walk, talk, and how to ride a bike. And I know we've done this a few times now, but one more round of applause, will you? In turn, I would like to ask you to observe just a short moment of silence to remember the influential people who now watch over us instead of walking alongside of us. Thank you. For many of the people in this room, the story of the class of 2019 began in 2001, a year that seemed relatively ordinary at the start. Michael Jordan was still playing basketball, although in a Wizards jersey. Apple introduced a new product that they're getting rid of now, iTunes. And George W. Bush was the president. It was also the year that the first Harry Potter movie debuted. It was when Stone Cold Steve Austin beat The Rock in WrestleMania 17. But unfortunately, none of those are the reasons that most people remember 2001. For the year that many of you were born is the year that our nation and the world changed forever. For those of us old enough to remember, the images and fears associated with 9/11 still give us chills. While the world has definitely changed, and the war against terror continues today, it is important to remember that the events of 9/11 were an attack against democracy and they were acts of hate. I am confident that I speak for every parent in this room when I say that each of you, the graduates, are our best memories of 2001, and that you do your part each day to make this world a better place. It's also important to note that your parents aren't the only people that feel this way. As you know, at the end of May, I shared a 3-question survey with all of you on Classroom. One of the questions asked if one of your classmates made a difference in your life, and I asked them to be specific. In your answer, you talked about people being positive, kind, easy to talk to, supportive, and understanding, attributes that we should all strive for. Quite a few of your responses reinforced just how important some of these relationships are in your life, how those individuals helped you get through the most challenging moments of your life, and/or helped you to avoid making some really bad decisions. Seniors, if one of your classmates has made a difference in your life and you haven't already told them, please make sure that you say something before this night is over. Members of this class have also made an impact beyond the walls of the high school, but certainly not limited to Marshal Nielsen, who helped build a school in Ghana last summer, Megan Powell, who went on a mission trip to a Sioux Indian reservation last summer, Owen Clark, who traveled to Tanzania, and both Andrew Byron and James Bonzani, who completed domestic mission work. A round of applause for all of them. We have Kelly Ward and Julia Serra taking the lead on South Windsor for the Kids. This organization, supported by many members of the class, raised over $16,000 for Connecticut Children's Medical Center. If you are a graduate who participated with South Windsor for the Kids or the Dance Marathon, please stand to be recognized. Come on, more than 2 of you did it. And we have Greg Burnham, who dedicated over 380 hours to the South Windsor Food Alliance and has a great commitment to the farmers market. Thank you, Greg. And there are 12 members of this class who have made significant contributions to our community on their way to earning the rank of Eagle Scout. This is significant, as only 4% of students who begin scouting actually earn the rank of Eagle Scout. Please stand to be recognized when I call your name. Mark Angel, Ryan Balekowitz, James Bonzani, Andrew Byron, Gary Brownbill, John LaPlante, Marshall Nielsen, Justin Corrali, Nicholas Palladino, Max Saint-Amand, Matthew Wiley, and Ben Thompson. Thank you. I have two other students I'd like to stand. Athena Savides, who earned the Gold Award with the Girl Scouts, and Kaylee Troiano, who earned the Silver Award. Looking ahead, we have 7 members of the class who are committed to defending our freedom and way of life by serving our country in the armed forces or the Coast Guard. Please stand and be recognized. Holly Burns, Angelina Graziani, John LaPlante, Ethan Levine, Cooper Nodden, Hunter Nodden, and Cassidy Sharp. Thank you for your service, and please return home safely. In speaking with the faculty about your class, one thing really stood out. The class of 2019 is not only bright and hardworking, it is incredibly creative. Some evidence of that includes your accomplishments at the World Affairs Council Model UN simulation this last December, when Kyle Garneau, Jason Rickenbacker, and Connor O'Mara won Best Delegation for the 3rd consecutive year. And Daniel Cotate, Shamik Sani, and Gary Brownbill received the Innovation Awards. Our Science Olympiad team came in 4th in the state, and the following seniors earned competition awards this year: Marshall Nielsen, Lindsay Hurd, and Mega Rowe. And James Bonzani came in 1st for Therodynamics in his mousetrap vehicle at the state competition. This class also had the opportunity to travel together. Our state champion robotics team, Bobcat number 177, traveled to Detroit for the World Championships, and other members of the class traveled to Disney World with the music department of the wrestling team, and a few of you visited Spain and Italy during the April break. Okay? For some of you, this was our first time away from home or the first time on an airplane. It was an opportunity to see another part of the country or the world. It forced a new level of independence and maturity, and I am confident that you made memories that will last a lifetime. Being a chaperone on many of the trips, I know that I did. Many members of this class have also experienced athletic success over the last 4 years, including Kayla Brown, who is a USA Swimming Sectionals and Futures Time Qualifier. And in 2017, Billy Olenson won gold and silver at the ITF World Championships in Taekwondo in Argentina. There's still a lot more on Billy. A year later, he won another gold in the World Cup in Ottawa, Canada, and he is currently ranked 2nd in the world at 154 pounds. Billy, we wish you all the best as you defend your title at the World Championships this summer in Brazil. We have 67 seniors who earned academic all-conference honors. We have 29 that made the all-conference team for their sport, including Maria Hanchuk and Hunter Pasqualini, who were all-conference in 2 sports. Earning all-state recognition this year, Hunter Pasqualini and Mitchell Lyons for soccer, Sarah Gallagher for field hockey, Samantha West, gymnastics, Jared Walter in golf. There's 3 things on this one so we can pace together. Maria Hanchuk earned all state honors, was named the CIAC Pitcher of the Year, and named the Gatorade Player of the Year. Cooper Nodden won the State Open Wrestling Championships at 170 pounds. Daniel Sullivan was named Academic All-American for wrestling. We also have All-Americans in music, and that is Gabe Galley. Gabe was also recognized as an All-East musician, and Grace Humke was All-East. Samantha Donovan and Marshal Nielsen were honored as All-State musicians. And I'm pretty sure awards are coming for this guy. We have a young entrepreneur in the class, Griffin Bryan, who owns his own clothing brand, Do Not Disturb. So while I am sure that some of our guests will recognize the lyrics to more than one Paul Simon song, do we have any graduates that know the words to Kodachrome? Even if you don't, I'm sure you've heard the first few lines or you'll like them, because it starts with, when I think back on all the crap I learned in high school, it's a wonder that I can think at all. Well, I certainly hope that isn't the case. I do recognize that being a teenager isn't easy in today's world. For starters, there is no escape. Your parents and I grew up in a world where no matter how embarrassing something was, you just needed to make it until 2 o'clock. And if you were lucky enough to have your embarrassing moment on a Friday, or before a vacation, it was even better. But in today's world, your social life is going strong 24/7, 365 in a virtual world. And speaking of a virtual world, please don't believe the hype, especially in the years to come. Be a realist. We all have bad days. We all go through dark moments, and we all struggle with change. When those moments come, pick up the phone, yes, pick up the phone, and actually dial a number. Call a trusted friend or loved one. Don't look on Insta and look at a bunch of Photoshop pictures and decide that your life doesn't measure up. The reality is, you learned a great deal over the last 13 years, and some of the most important lessons occurred outside of the classroom. You learned to put yourself out there when you ran for class office, when you auditioned for an ensemble or a solo or for the play. Sometimes you enjoyed the fruits of your victories, and other times you learned to hold your head high when you came to school the next day. For our athletes, our artists, and our academic team members, there were countless moments of success and failure. You learned that you could do more than you thought. You learned to count on others and to work as a team. Now, as you prepare to scatter across the country to destinations including Paris Island, Philadelphia, Fairfax, Storrs, Boston, Washington, D.C., and Poughkeepsie, it's time to acknowledge that you learned the most important lessons in kindergarten. Perhaps some of you will even receive this book as a graduation gift. Spoiler, Dan. It's Robert Fulham's All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. Uncommon Thoughts, Uncommon Things. Here are a few more spoilers. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Always flush. And warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. So enjoy tonight, and remember the cookies and milk if you are homesick next fall. Thank you, and enjoy the evening. And at this time, I invite Melissa Morgan Hostetler to the podium.
Good evening. Mr. Sullivan talked about the importance of relationships in life, how they help instill that which will stay with you forever. Our salutatorian, Samantha Donovan, took 12 advanced placement classes, earned distinction as a National Merit Scholar, an AP Scholar with distinction, an All-State musician, and was the recipient of the Connecticut Governor's Scholarship. But all the while, Sam also clearly understood the importance of relationships, the value of connecting with others, the worth of giving back. This is all evidenced by her commitment to working on National Honor Society service projects, organizing blood drives, and being a CATS leader, helping ninth graders transition to South Windsor High School, just to name a few. Sam came to my office last week to talk, and she told me that her friends are her main people. And her eyes lit up, specifically when she talked about the South Windsor High School girls tennis team. She joked, well, maybe my tennis game hasn't gotten much better, but my teammates are the most amazing group of people I have ever known. She beamed while sharing how impressed she is by them, by everything they accomplished together through their consistent hard work, but most importantly, through their positivity. There's no doubt that Sam's relationship with her supportive family has helped shape her too. Her mom, Loretta, is a 6th grade teacher. Her dad, Joe, is a high school math teacher. Both find their work incredibly fulfilling. And Sam said she has even more respect for her hardworking, caring teachers because of what her parents do. Sam will be attending the University of Pennsylvania this fall. She and others refer to the school as the social Ivy. She joked that it could be because they party, but she also shared that it's probably because of the emphasis put on collaboration there. In fact, it's this focus on connecting with others and working together that excites Sam the most about the school, and part of what made her decision to attend so easy. She truly recognizes that together, everyone can accomplish more. And she noticed how everyone at UPenn comes together to learn, research, solve problems, and truly help make the world a better place. Sure does seem like the right fit for Sam. Sam came to my office last week because I wanted to chat with her about being named the Salutatorian. After congratulating her, the first thing I said was, "So Sam, tell me about high school." Her reply very simply was, "Well, high school's been really good to me." While of course I was happy to hear this, I couldn't help but think, Sam, you have been really good to the high school. There's no doubt Sam has left her mark on South Windsor High School. It is simply a better place because of the service-like people just like her. And UPenn will be a better place with this kind-hearted, positive, bright star on its campus. I am honored to invite South Windsor High School's class of 2019 salutatorian to the podium. Please welcome Samantha Donovan.
I am wrong all the time. I thought long and hard, trying to find an unshakable truth to present you all with here today. And as I reflected on every realization I've had during high school, this is all that surfaced, the only constant. I was wrong every time I absent-mindedly fiddled with my pencil during a Joseph Kmeyer lecture. He connected the most seemingly insignificant events to create an intricate web of people and ideas, encapsulating the very essence of U.S. history, and yet some mornings I didn't register a single word. I was wrong again in Mr. McAndrew's class when, on the first day of school, I mistakenly said that 2 + 2 is 4. Because apparently in physics, you draw some arrows going off in all different directions, and suddenly, 2 + 2 is not always 4. I was probably wrong most often in the presence of Coach Bevel. She had to deal with my mistakes on the tennis court and in the lab. Yet she has taught me by example a deep love of biology and tennis alike that I will have for the rest of my life. I caused Madame Rosano and Monsieur Mabassa to suffer through the tragedy that is my French accent for 4 years straight. Mrs. Field has seen more nondescript drawings of houseplants in my nature journal than she would care to count, I'm sure. And I have bestowed my worst wrongdoings of all upon Miss Flaxbart. She was the one stuck with the rather daunting task of editing this speech. I have been wrong every day that I have woken up, gotten out of bed, and failed to thank my mom for being the most kind, generous, selfless person on the whole planet. I have been wrong every time I've dismissed an opportunity to talk math with my dad, who has instilled in me a permanent love of learning that brings me happiness every day. And I have been wrong every morning that I have driven my sister Abby to school and failed to leave the house by 10 after 7, making her late for English. That girl has a glowing personality and the brain of a future president. She deserves the world, and at the very least, to be on time for her advanced English seminar. Of course, just because I've gotten it wrong doesn't mean everyone else has. I think our grade is pretty great, actually. You may have heard that South Windsor for the Kids raised over $16,000 for Connecticut Children's Medical Center. That's incredible. And maybe you know some of the 18 members of our class committed to NCAA athletic teams. Zach, Drew, Mitchell, Kayla, and Hunter are even going Division I. The girls' tennis team and the girls' softball team both went undefeated this season, and our unified sports program is one of the best in the region. I've seen seniors Jake and Morgan in tournaments, and they've got mad skills. You may even know that Grace, Percy, and Gabe have all been first chair All-State instrumentalists, or that Marcus Rodriguez is already pursuing a career as a musician out in LA. That's so cool. In fact, all of our music groups are extraordinary. Wind Ensemble, led by seniors Shamik and Chris, won the entire Boston Trip Music Festival this year. The Lids rendition of Sir Duke at the Pops concert was absolutely legendary, and as my good friend and fantastic dance captain Livy LaRosa would remind me, Spectrum is always gold. But what about those people who dare to venture off the beaten path in pursuit of their passion? You may not know that for an independent study, Nick Palladino built and programmed a machine that mimics the function of the lens in the human eye. That's sick. Meanwhile, Marshal Nielsen spent 3 weeks of last summer building a school in Ghana, and not only that, he's already brainstorming ways to combine his experience and engineering interests to do something groundbreaking. Griffin Bryan created his own clothing brand, Do Not Disturb, completely from scratch, and I swear Camilo Suma spends as much time running programs at the public library as any of the full-time employees. Marlena and Donnie have led the Environmental Club in educating elementary schoolers on climate change. Sam West created our first ever Women in STEM Day. Gina Bretz decorates our halls with incredible murals, and few people have ever reached the levels of fashion genius achieved by the developers of the Ennis Mode sweatshirts. And then there are those who are as right as it gets. Classmates of ours that have shown exceptional kindness every day of high school. I am so lucky to know Isra El-Jafarawi. I can't imagine what the world has done to deserve such a supportive, kind-hearted human. And Jess Polito, who has spread her boundless positivity to countless student groups throughout the school. I don't think I've ever seen Erin Burrows without a warm smile on her face, and Liv Porcello is the definition of friendly. Grace Amandi is constantly compassionate, while Ka Din and Nick Chakaj might be the most humble people you will ever meet, and I can always count on Caitlin Smith to see the silver lining in any situation. If you ever want to have a wholesome debate, Kyle Garneau is definitely your guy. And Mega Rao is so full of caring, she'll stop you from killing a spider that is straight onto your desk, because it's just minding its own business, you know. I could go on for hours listing the names of those who go out of their way to be kind, and to you all I say thank you for being the beauty in this school. Looking back, the few moments in which I got it right, the ones that got me here, were the moments in which I took the time to learn from those around me, to learn from all of you. I think both as students and as people, striving to become a little less wrong every day is probably the coolest thing we do. While perfection is admittedly out of reach, we continually seek out truths with which to better ourselves, and it's incredible how often we can find them in each other. It took me far too long to realize that inquiring about the strengths of others and developing my own abilities are so often one and the same. Looking back at what the class of 2019 has managed to accomplish, I have faith that our generation will continue to change the world for the better. Not because we are always right or always successful, but because we are passionate about self-improvement and have supported one another in that process throughout the last 4 years. In many ways, I am completely ignorant to the miracle that is this moment and so very confused as to how someone so often wrong could get this far. But I know I am right when I say it is because of all of you. Thank you to our teachers for helping us develop a deeper appreciation for the world around us. Thank you to my entire family for inspiring in me the quirky sort of confidence that could produce this wax sort of speech. And most of all, thank you to the class of 2019 for making it cool to care and popular to be passionate at South Windsor High, where every day since 2015, we as a class have been getting a little less wrong. Going out into the world, broadening our potential for collaborative, positive change. I can't wait to see what sorts of kindness we accomplish. Thank you.
Great job, Sam. Thank you. And at this time, I invite Andrew Kuckel to the podium.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to introduce the 2019 class poet. This year's class poet has been described by her teachers as a reflective student with cheerful enthusiasm. She is a curious soul who likes to look beyond the obvious and always has her eye on the future. However, the attribute that stood out the most in my conversations with Madison and her teachers is her exceptional kindness. She is known to greet her teachers with a warm smile and is eager to think, challenge, and learn. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce the South Windsor High School class poet for 2019, Madison Silber.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor today to share with you the poem I wrote for the graduating class of 2019. Thank you. The best part. Deep breath. The best part is about to start. You're at the very top of the coaster after you spent 13 years listening to the clicks of the track, waiting. Brace for whiplash, my friends, because the long wait is over. Right now, this glowing stage is so very still, but soon you'll be drowning in hugs and kisses and congratulations, saying your goodbyes and preparing for what lies ahead. Some of us are immensely excited, while others are riddled with worry. But what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does? Now we hand the reins to destiny and beg her, take care of me, would you? And as she pries them from our worried grip, she gleams with joy and whispers, just trust me. So, just take a deep breath. The best part is about to start. You're at the very top of the coaster, worried, impatient, even ignorant perhaps, but ready nonetheless. Thank you.
How about the delivery on that, huh? One more round of applause. That was great. And at this time, I invite Tara Harlow to the podium.
For the last 4 years, Jason Rickenbacker has worked hard to balance his academics, athletics, and civic organizations, all while maintaining numerous leadership positions. Jason's earliest school memory was from first grade. He remembers when his teacher asked the class to write out every number they could in a sequence on a piece of paper. He doesn't remember how many numbers he was able to write out, but he remembers really enjoying the challenge. Jason has a passion for math, history, and Latin, and in 4 years has taken an astounding number of AP and ECE classes. Aside from math, Jason's other passion is at Hartford County 4-H Camp. For those of you who have attended this camp, it is a rustic yet magical place where Jason has been a camper, then a counselor, and has been hired this year as a full-time staff member. He likes that at camp no one knows his dedication to academia. He's able to relax, have fun, and teaches tennis and gymnastics. Jason's empathy for others and kind heart are what I believe to be his biggest assets. These qualities are difficult to teach, impossible to measure, but are evident in his relationships with his peers. The compassion I have seen Jason demonstrate are what sets him apart and is what makes him a truly great friend. This fall, Jason will be on the diving team at Middlebury College in Vermont. He is majoring in math and computer science. In Jason's words, if someone has a computer, they can do anything. His future is limitless. His aspirations are commendable, and we are proud of his success here at South Windsor High School. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you your valedictorian for the class of 2019, Jason Rickenbacker.
Good evening, and I hope this finds you well. Congratulations to the South Windsor High School class of 2019. Thank you, friends, faculty, families, and graduates, for coming here to celebrate the work we've done over these past 4 years, and for silently tolerating listening to me speak for a few minutes. You all deserve great praise for your accomplishments and well wishes for bright futures. It hasn't been easy. We've all had our challenges and made significant sacrifices to get here. I, for one, often gave up sleep. Well, sleeping at home, at night, in the comfort of my own bed, that is. As many of you know, I usually caught up through catnaps in class. Early mornings were rough, and I apologize to any of my first period teachers who may be in the crowd. But I do humbly accept the senior superlative, most likely to fall asleep anywhere. Unfortunately, this fact also means I know better than most that many of you may nod off during my speech, and it would be hypocritical of me to ask you not to. But for those who make it through the whole thing, thank you. Today, I'd like to ask each of you to find a passion that just blows your hair back. One that gets you out of bed in the morning. One that challenges you intellectually, tests you physically, and captivates you emotionally. No, I'm not talking about finding your college major or career path. I'm talking about finding an outlet that allows you to disconnect from the frenetic pace of work or college life and just live in the moment. Discover a hobby, a sport, a diversion, an interest that helps fill your life with unpredictable possibilities. Something where each micro-accomplishment gives you tremendous personal pride. One that doesn't seek others' approval or necessarily garner the most Instagram likes. Dangling from the Otter Cliffs in Acadia last year, I found rock climbing as that passion. If desperately clinging to a 200-foot granite wall over crashing ocean waves like your life depends on it doesn't sound appealing to you, which is understandable, then I hope your passion delivers lessons as powerful as those that rock climbing has taught me. The first lesson every rock climber soon learns is the importance of preparation and planning. So when you're standing at the bottom of a rock face, looking up and thinking, what did I get myself into, and what am I even doing here? You can allow yourself a moment to freak out, but only a moment. Once your jitters subside, you look at the problem in front of you and plan your route. Seeking the handholds, footholds, and places you'll jump to when everything else just looks impossible and you don't know what else to do. As you begin to climb, you'll inevitably come across a hold that is much less sturdy than you expected, and your whole plan may come crashing down in front of you. As long as you don't go crashing down with it, there's nothing to worry about. Probably. Here, you learn the importance of flexibility and test your ability to pivot. While your muscles are quaking and you're hanging 50 yards above the ground, you don't have time to dwell on your mistakes. You're forced to make extremely quick adjustments to get back on track. Even the most thought-out plans will need adjusting. An analogous situation might be for those of you who grew up wanting nothing more than to be a doctor, but eventually you slam into the wall called organic chemistry. You quickly realize that pre-med is, surprise, a very difficult major. You wish you had paid closer attention in high school as you desperately try to understand the difference between amphiprotic and amphoteric substances. And no, I have absolutely no idea what that difference is, but that's besides the point. In that situation, you can pause, take a moment, and reevaluate your route. Give yourself time to breathe, think positively, and then either muscle through your planned attack, seek help, or maybe shift paths entirely. Suspended from the cliff's edge, looking up and down a sheer granite slab, it's easy to panic. Many what-ifs that don't end well run through your head. But if you've planned your trip well, you've hitched yourself into a harness to prevent the worst from happening. Although they're extremely uncomfortable and may restrict your movement, they are a critical safety measure. However, you only really appreciate a harness when you feel the jerk and stable catch of the ropes after slipping from a crag you thought you'd held firm. It is possible to make it all the way to the top of a cliff without ever needing to trust your weight on a harness and subsequently belittle its importance. But it only takes one fall, one mistake, to realize just how important being strapped in can be. Whatever your harness is in your life, your friends, family, pets, support networks, make sure to thank them for being on hand whenever you might need them, even if you have yet to fall. Tonight, I'd like to thank my mom, dad, brother, and comfort cat Zenith for having my back no matter what. I'd also like to thank my class of 2018 friends for their unwavering friendship, non-judgmental ears, and indulgent late-night conversations. And to the Lit Table boys, thanks to your humor and positivity, I survived senior year. You may have seen this year's Oscar-winning documentary, Free Solo. It chronicles Alex Honnold's Herculean climb up Yosemite's El Capitan without a harness. Some may claim that the lack of restraint and responsibility for others is freeing, bringing out the best in a climber. While there is no doubt some truth to this, and perhaps free soloing is more impressive than climbing with other people, there's a reason the hardest walls in the world have never and will never be free soloed. There are some challenges that cannot be accomplished in one try, cannot be done alone, and cannot be done without the safety of a harness. There are times when challenging yourself makes sense, but others when you need people by your side to accomplish your goals. And frankly, even more satisfying than the solo pursuit of a cliff is belaying others, having them place their lives in your hands, and the feeling of helping your friends reach their goals too. So next year, when you're struggling through that organic chemistry class, sure you could study on your own, pass the class, maybe even do well in it. What's the point? If you could form a study group and work with others, and then all of you do better, isn't that a far more impressive and meaningful feat? Finally, I'd like to issue a challenge more difficult than a rock face or organic chemistry. Impossible, I know. Every now and again, put down your smartphones and go outside. Take a hike, ride a bike, climb a mountain. Soak in the beauty around you. I'm heading to Middlebury College, sandwiched between the Adirondacks and the Green Mountains. I can't wait to explore the New England countryside. Sure, I'll pursue my academics with the same ferocity I did at South Windsor High School, but I'll savor the freedom to escape into the mountains when studying gets too intense. I hope that when you're stressed about work or exams, or the final season of your favorite show just absolutely sucking, you can try trading the stifling confines of a cramped dorm room or office cubicle for the natural world. Breathe in the fresh air, feel the rush of wind in your hair and the warmth of sun on your skin. Consider it nature's free therapy session. Now, of course, while I enjoy rock climbing, I know that the sport is not for everyone. For some, even the idea of being a few feet off the ground is just terrifying. That's why I challenge you all to not just follow the lessons that rock climbing has taught me, but to find something in your life that you become so passionate about that you can use it to explain your feelings and way of life to other people. Whether it be skating, skateboarding, knitting, recreational mathematics, golf, video games, or, God forbid, organic chemistry, find something that you're so passionate about that if you were to give a speech, it's the first thing that comes to mind. Fill your time with that passion, because when you can explain your views on life through something, that something very well could become your life. Thank you.
Great job, Jason. And at this time, we'd once again like to welcome Choral Spectrum.
Time of the
You guys ready, or you want another speech? All right, it's showtime. Dr. Carter, I hereby certify that the students seated before you this evening have met the graduation requirements set forth by the South Windsor Board of Education. This is the senior class of 2019.
Jason Rickenbacker.
Samantha Donovan.
Madison Silver.
Daniel Faisal Cote.
Olivia Renee Porcello. Olivia LaRosa. Selena Guo. Naima Alexander. April Siri Alvar.
Alex Amora. Marco Extasi. Thomas Anderson. Mark Angel. Cody Armstrong. Drew Arnold.
Ramesa Asmo.
Mitchell Bacall.
London Beer. Ryan Daniel Collections. Emily Bentley. Matthew Bidwell. Andrew Byron.
James Vernon Bonte.
Gina Brent. Kayla Brown.
Ryan Brown.
Gary Brumble. Adam James Brozowski.
Michaela Bruno.
Isabella Brunelli.
Griffin Cole Bryant.
Regan Burbank.
Greg Bird.
Holly Burns. Karen Burns.
Clayton Calhoun. Jared Michael Carroll.
Ryan Parker.
Cooper Castles. Cole Passateri. Alec Cicchini.
Alana Grace Chapatelli.
Maxim Cesaro. Austin Nicholas Chasey.
Olivia Ann Jason.
Hamza Charter.
Percy Chen.
Owen Clark.
Ariana Cohen.
Anthony Lewis Wilson.
Dante Matteo Colon.
Justin Perella.
Keely
Enrique Cruz.
Nathan Herman.
Mary Taylor.
Kate Alec Dabrowski.
Nicholas Darby.
Taylor Darby. Dana Janelle Bates.
Colin Lee.
Matthew Dion.
Anthony Dominguez.
Zachary Donovan.
Natalie Rose.
Rachel Elizabeth Druid.
Aaron Dial. Sean Nyler.
Sheila Lulu Eddie.
Easter Legend Rowan.
Stephanie Irwin. Ollie Pleasant.
Gabriel Fair. Adrian Finkel.
Name Johnson.
Allie Fielding.
Damian Figueroa.
Jonathan Eli Figueroa. Marcus Foote.
Michaela Farm. Hope Porcelino.
Gabe Galley. Harlow.
Anna Garvey. Emily Gephardt.
Sean Forjay. William Giard.
Mia Nicole Gibson. Alexandra Gomes-Ferris. Clara Gomes-Perez.
Alexander Dale.
Ashley Goodrow. Nicole Grosso. Angelina Graziani.
Logan Gregory.
Kriti Gupta.
Ethan Gurry.
Sarah Elizabeth Halligan. Maria Christina. Kalisa Maya.
Shia Mr.
Tyler Axel.
Luke David Beacon.
Grace Humphrey.
Joseph Hens. Kyle Henderson. Zachary Michael Hoffman.
Sean Coleman.
Brianna Elizabeth Buffy. Lindsay Hearn. Jacqueline Hutton. Grace Emily.
Malik Isaiah Davidson.
Tanisha Mary Jordan.
Avery James Jones. Connor Logan Jordan. Jalen James.
Sada Jamil.
Pranay Rashid Turner.
Emma Amina Curry.
Samantha
Max Paul.
Julian Kelly.
Dean Cavitos.
Tuba Khwaja.
Daniel Kim.
Marlena Kwan.
Eric Rizzo.
Caleb Cruz.
Gina Kwan. Michelle Rose Lawton.
Charles Gata.
Lauren Linda. Joshua Mancarry. Carol Ann Terry.
Kyle Dominic Blair.
John LaPlante.
Cassidy Rosemary Beer.
Ethan Levine.
Joshua Blake.
Jacob London.
Leah Nicole Page.
Daniel
Jessica Van. Victoria Mariansi.
Ethan Harvey.
Stephen Marsh. Gary.
Andrew Mealy.
Harlow Windsor. Alyssa Mayhill.
Daniel Haluza.
Zola Mitchell. Cassandra Maltars. Aliana Montalvo.
Daniel Montessori.
Cahill Montgomery. Damon Daybell Moreno. Demonte Jonathan Moreno.
Miracle Moore.
Doug Murphy.
Isabel Leno.
Alex Nelson.
Tyler Neese.
Marshall Wilson.
Cooper Nodden.
Hunter Nada.
Mariela Ramon.
Andrew Novak. Cameron O'Connor.
Connor O'Mara.
Jonathan Ocasio.
Abigail Oliveira. Ediana Oliveira. Rachel Susan Oliveira.
Nick Paladino.
Dalton John Peniotopoulos.
Brandon Barada.
Alexandra Parent. Brian Pereira.
Tyler Portenio.
Hunter James Passman.
Foxy Patel.
Malad Patel.
Taylor Ann Cartucci. Victoria Colorado.
Eldon Perkins.
Brandon Paris.
Amanda Terry.
Jack Perry.
Megan Rose Fidel.
Sean Piedmeier. Rodney Baker.
Gianna Pope. Leia Sibilia Kaminsky. Jessica Polito.
Kyle Polito.
Anthony Carino.
Megan Powell. Sonia Prieto Villela. Emma Radar. Ridley Lemay.
Kyle Joshua Bonner.
Derek Burkowski.
Cameron Santos.
Drew Thomas Sagan.
Julia Ray Sarah. Kelly Sartoris. Sarah Sartoris.
Stefan Saturday. Jacob Saltzman. Violet Fowler.
Athena Savides.
Veronica Saxena.
Jace Scaravella.
Jaden Scaramella.
Benjamin Shulman.
Cassie Sharp. Dakota Riley Skipper.
Jacob Slutowski. Jimmy Slutowski. Jason Slutowski.
Jenny Small.
Connor Smith.
Caitlin Smith.
Andrew Smile. Shanique Song.
Tracy Compton.
Max Saint Amand.
Tyler Stinson.
Anita Suarez. Claire Sullivan.
Daniel Patrick Sullivan.
Gina Tsai.
Cameron Tosi. Michael Robert Toro. Justin Tracy.
Kaylee Troyano.
Devin Chomley.
Jonathan Wasilencia Romano.
Jessica Van Moore. Rebecca Vesco.
Jared Stephen Walter. Brady Joseph Ward.
Kelly Jennifer Ward.
Michael Ward.
Jacob Waterhouse.
Samantha West.
Barnabas Wayne.
Weston White.
Jordan White.
Alexander.
Sydney Catherine.
Matthew White.
Zach Lysaki.
Tina Zhang.
I'd like to thank Sava Savides, one of the teachers at the high school, for coordinating all of the photos and recording the student voices. Obviously, we did something different this year. Great job, Sava. Thank you. A couple of housekeeping matters as well. Seniors, when you exit the building this evening, please remember to go directly across the street, take a left, and we are going to gather in the courtyard park. That is where we will do the cap toss, and we will take a photo of that. That is also where you will collect your diplomas and meet up with family and friends to, I'm sure, take more photos. So again, go across the street, to the left into the park. The police will help us with crossing the street safely. So thank you for that. I would also like to take a moment to recognize one graduate who is not here this evening. As Sam alluded to in her speech, Marcus Rodriguez is in Hollywood pursuing his music dreams, and I hope to be hearing big things from Marcus soon, but a round of applause for Marcus. At this time, I would like to invite the class officers to stand in front. Daniel Cotate is our president, Olivia Porcella, vice president, Olivia LaRosa, secretary, and Selena Guo, treasurer. It's time for you to lead your classmates in the turning of the tassel.